Hello everyone. This is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. You are watching day 3 of the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar unboxing. If you missed day 1 and day 2, and also a general look at the Crafty Advent Calendar, I have videos for all of that on my YouTube channel. I have them linked in the video description below. So let's go ahead and take a look at day 3. Day 3 window is on the right hand side, right there at the top. We're going to open this and take a look. And what do we have here? I think this is a die set. This feels like this is going to be a very cool floral die set. And yes, it is a die set. So let's take a look. Oh, by the way, did you notice there's like a 3 imprinted on the plastic in the window? I didn't notice that on day 1 and day 2. Maybe it's there. Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention, but it's kind of cool. It tells you where each product goes. So let's open the packaging and see what dies we have inside. So it's a cute little, darling little die set. This reminds me of the florals that are on the packaging of our Advent. We have some flowers that are decorating the hot air balloon that was included in day 1. With these flowers, I wanted to create a full floral background for my card, and I picked a different color combination. I wanted to do something unique, not the typical pink and green. So here I have selected several colors of cardstock from Spellbinders, and also I have one from Simon Says Stamp. So the lightest color is the Simon Says Stamp Sea Glass. The Spellbinders Glacier would also be a nice option. Next, we have the Spellbinders Waterfall. The next color is the Spellbinders Teal Topaz. Next, we have Lagoon, also from Spellbinders. Blue Spruce from Spellbinders. And then this color is the Sage. It's the newer green color from Spellbinders. I actually have a color study video looking at this color in conjunction with some purples. Check that out if you haven't seen it. And then the last color I have for this card is the Spellbinders Fog. It's a very soft gray color. With all of the colors selected, we're going to go ahead and do some die cutting. I'm going to use my Spellbinders Scout die cutting and embossing machine. These dies are small, so I don't really need to use my Platinum 6. It's more convenient to use the Scout. I did need to cut my paper to smaller strips to do this die cutting, but I usually have leftover cardstock pieces with my full cardstock sheets. So I just use those leftover cardstock pieces to do this type of die cutting. You can't use an A2 panel here. It needs to be smaller. The opening for Scout is 3.5 inches wide. I also have a little dish here on my desk. I'm going to use this dish to sort all of my die cut pieces by color. I first went ahead and I die cut a bunch of pieces from the Sage cardstock. So this is the green that I'm using for my card. The flowers are all going to be cut from the teal cardstock. So we're going to have green and teal. I am cutting the flower centers right now from the colored cardstock. I did not realize that I didn't need to cut those from the colored cardstock. I only later realized that those would be better off cut from some other contrasting color. So just to simplify things, I separated my dies into 3 groups. I had the group to die cut the leaves, the stems, and the branches. I had a group to die cut the flowers, and then the last group of dies, which is basically just one die, is the flower centers, and I cut those from the Spellbinders Gold Glitter cardstock. Here I have assembled a couple of flowers to see how these would look, and I love the result. Next, I'm using Barely Art Glue. I am shaping my flowers a little bit using my fingers. You don't have to do this. I don't always do this. Sometimes I do it, other times I don't. But if I want to add dimension to my flowers, to my die cuts, I typically will shape them using my fingers. There are special tools out there that you can use, like a foam mat and a stylus tool with a very large stylus head. I didn't think I needed that here. I just added a little bit of dimension to the die cuts using my fingers. I'm going to briefly show you how I assembled the flowers just to give you an idea. These are very easy to assemble. They are like all the other Spellbinders floral dies, and I have shared videos using other floral dies from Spellbinders on my channel, so I will link to a few here so you can check them out. So again, the assembly is very easy. You can combine these floral dies with the other floral dies that you have in your stash. These are nice and small, so they create neat little accents for your cards. With the flowers done, I looked for a sentiment that I could use for this card. I always say this, I never have enough birthday cards on hand, so I picked a birthday sentiment. This sentiment comes from my Let's Celebrate collection, and this is a fun sentiment because it reads, "Happy birthday to one of the few people whose birthday I can remember without a Facebook reminder." I think this is a fun sentiment, and it's been a while since I used it, so I enjoyed using it on this card. I'm using matte silver foil here. I'm trimming it to size. I did cut a piece that was slightly too large. Now, while my Glimmer Hot Foil system is warming up, I wanted to show you how I spend my time waiting. So what I do here is I'm adding thin foam adhesive squares to the back of my die cuts. I know I will be popping these up on my card. I love to do this. I always add some sort of dimension. I thought about using regular foam adhesive squares here, but because many of these images are so dainty and delicate, I decided I would be better off using thin foam adhesive squares and adding just a little bit of dimension, not too much. My sentiment is foiled. Here's a look. Love the way it turned out. We can now begin adding the flowers onto the background. So the whole idea is to create a full floral background. I'm going to start with a flower in the center and then just go from there. I'm not going to have any flowers go outside the edge of my panel. I am going to contain all of them within the panel, so I'm being kind of careful about how I place the pieces. This took a little bit of time, but this is one of my favorite things to do. I love to create backgrounds using little die cuts because you can create beautiful one-of-a-kind background this way. So here is a look at this background with all the flowers added. I just love the result. It looks so beautiful and so elegant. I'm going to add this panel onto an A2 top folding card base. I'm using Barely Art Glue to adhere it in place. And that finishes my card featuring the day 3 of the Spellbinders Advent Calendar. I hope you're opening your Advent Calendar along with me. If you don't have an Advent Calendar, I believe they're still available from Spellbinders. I have links below. There is the Crafty Advent Calendar and also a Stitchmas Advent Calendar with 12 different surprises if you enjoy stitching. Thanks again for joining me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you again, hopefully tomorrow with day 4.